Xal'atath had traveled back to WoW Classic in order to get the essence of THUN and to bring it back to the war within him, and this might just be the craziest thing Blizzard had ever done. As I previously stated, with our return to Pandaria, she will have the essence of 3 old gods, and only THUN was missing. Well, in Season of Discovery, people started getting these weird bugs where they get THUN whisper buffs and old god THUN minions are appearing as far as Barrens. Furthermore, Xal'atath herself appears and gives us a weapon to use, being kind-hearted and everything, and as you may know, her old dagger was a weapon we used that would have captured N'Zoth's essence back at the end of BFA. So what is even going on, and is Blizzard really connecting Classic and Retail in this new lore? If you're interested in programming but you're facing the biggest problem out there, which is procrastination, you can never get yourself to actually get started, boot.dev is literally the perfect solution. The entire concept is that it is going to get you started working right now, and it is all done as an RPG game with XP, levels, achievements, a leaderboard, and all the fun elements that come with it. You got a thriving and active Discord community that can help you a lot if you get stuck on your coding challenges. However, the best thing is, even if you're not into programming, boot.dev can get you into it because backend developers have excellent earning potential and they can also work from home. With boot.dev, you will learn backend web development from start to finish in Python and the Go programming languages. So click the link in the description, check out what boot.dev has to offer, and use my code Doronsmovies to get 25% off your first payment. That's 25% of the first month or the first year depending on your subscription, so start gaming and programming today. So this might just be the craziest thing Blizzard had ever done. Now, I know I say this pretty much every second video, but this is something that is entirely unprecedented, like a multiverse of sorts. One character traveling to a completely different version of the game to complete a plan for the next retail expansion. If it really is true, it seriously might be the most genius Blizzard thing they had ever done. So let me really quickly bring you up to speed on how cool this could actually be. Now, you all know, Season of Discovery opened not that long ago, and this is like a version of Classic that never happened before, a bit of an altered one. Think of it as the long-awaited Classic Plus, but like the baby version where they're testing the ground to see what can work in the future. However, something I had never actually expected to see was that a character from Retail would travel to this old modified version of the game so that she can get something and to bring it back to a new Retail expansion. Now, I know you may be wondering like what is even going on, so to explain it, in Season of Discovery, we can encounter this figure, which is like 99.99% Xal'atath, and it is just called in the game a shadowy figure. Now, this shadowy figure helps you with a quest line and creating weapons, empowered weapons that you can use. Now, you may say this is just a night elf, it could really be anything, just like a void night elf, but she's literally holding a dagger. It is like this weird mix of a night elf. Remember, this is Classic, there are no blood elves in the game yet, let alone void elves, so this is like an elf, night elf model that has these obvious void characteristics, but when you combine it with the dagger, the eerie presence, and the tone she speaks in, we can definitely say this is Xal'atath. So here's where it gets interesting. This void figure approached a Twilight cultist and compelled him to create the box. Apparently, she came to him, showed him the box, which made everything stronger, but the box is hungry. We're supposed to destroy the box, and when it is destroyed, it leaves a shard of the void, as it says, a perfect black crystal that seems to draw in the light. Then the figure herself appears and offers to show you how to use the void shard to create a void touch armor. Now, she tells you the crystal is something special that shouldn't be wasted, and sure, you can throw it away, but these things don't stand to stay lost forever. Now, if this is not Xal'atath, I don't know what is. I mean, remember the dagger, how it was lost for like thousands of years, and how we found it, it was in our hands, and then it was kinda lost again, and then she found it. However, she sort of entices us to take it, and then she leaves a mark on us. It says that not an entirely pleasant memory that is not our own is placed in our mind. Now, I know what you may be thinking right off the bat. This could be a super quick Easter egg that is like a cross promotion. I mean, who really cares? But guys, when you dig into it, it really seems like there is so much more, and there are like 5 things happening other than this at the same time that a lot of people are missing. So first of all, the Riots immediately refer to the data, the most legit information, and that is that we actually had Chris Metzen responding to a post about a topic highly related to this on the forums in regards to Season of Discovery. Remember, Chris Metzen is the lead guy that is now working on all of Warcraft, not just on the next 3 expansions, the World Soul Saga. Someone asked, like, what's up with Season of Discovery? Is this like an alternate timeline that is like Hearthstone, where it is based on Warcraft lore, but it's like its own thing, really? Well, the answer was not quite. Chris Metzen told us to think about it as found photographs, little bits of info about characters we're very familiar with that makes us see them in a new perspective and gives us more context, but it doesn't really shift the story in any major way. To think of it something, for example, as seeing our parents traveling in their youth, which makes us see them in a new light. Now, this is definitely a bit of a vague answer, but I do think it ties into this with Xal'atath. Of course, it isn't a major shift in the story or a retcon, but this is something like a piece of the puzzle that plays into the main storyline that has been missing on retail. So here we have something that is incredibly interesting and may entirely be tied to this. So all throughout Season of Discovery, people started reporting these weird sightings, like they started seeing mobs, Xal'atath, Kiraji, old god minion mobs just appearing randomly, for example in the Barrens, and people were also thinking they were getting a bug and they were getting afflicted with the whispers of THUN that said, now you serve THUN mortal. Initially, people thought this was a bug, but multiple people have recorded these sightings, and it wasn't even like a tiny mob bugging, so just like a Kiraji appearing all of a sudden, but it looked like they spawned right around the obelisks they use, the old god ones that you can find in Xal'atath. I would say it would be strange for all the bugs to be all related to THUN. That is super relevant, and let me just tell you why THUN is super relevant. Now you may be thinking, I mean, Xal'atath, Kiraji, like what does that have to do with Xal'atath? Well, in my opinion, it has all to do with THUN, which is a part of Xal'atath's plan. Now let me put on the tinfoil hat. I know you may be thinking this is a bit crazy, but stay with me because it does make a lot of sense. So if you have followed the past 2-3 videos I made, I had proposed a theory that Xal'atath is collecting the essence of all the old gods for her plan. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a 15-minute theory, so let me really super quickly sum it up. We were told in an interview that Xal'atath is working for the Void directly, is older than the old gods, and isn't working on building the Black Empire, but creating a new one, sort of on the remains of the old god Black Empire. The document for Dragonflight said that the Harbinger will complete the awakening. Now, this here is the evidence. It is very strongly hinted that she collected essence of 2 old gods and is about to get the 3rd one in 10.2.7. Remember the Xal'atath dagger from Legion? This was a giant, powerful, magical container she was trapped in and she ultimately escaped from. Well, long story short, it exchanged a whole bunch of hands, but ultimately Vrathian used it to stab N'Zoth, which essentially collected his essence inside it, as remember, this is a container, not just an enhanced weapon, and since then the dagger completely disappeared. No one knows where it has been since BFA. Remember what she just said in Classic, how something that is lost will always find a way, one way or the other. Then in Dragonflight, in 10.1.5, she can travel back in time to collect the essence of Galakrond, as the exact same prophecy said, to save a hunger lost to the ages. Previously, the lore was rewritten where it was stated that Yogg-Saron had created Galakrond and the hunger. For this, Xal'atath traveled to Zerala Caverns to steal the original Dragon Soul, a predecessor to the one we know of, and once again, this was a powerful magical container. As we had seen, she used the Ridicon to collect the essence, he traveled to the portal, and we had seen her with the artifact in the official War Within cinematic, so it is 100% in her hands. Now, that is 2, but we have super strong evidence for 3 old gods. As I stated, we had data mined the entire Time Walking season in our big return to Pandaria in the patch 10.2.7, the patch that is very mysteriously called the Dark Heart. Remember, the scenario in Mists of Pandaria, it was literally called the Dark Heart of Pandaria, obviously referring to the heart of Yasharaj. Now guys, traveling back in time, Dark Heart, Harbinger, aka Xal'atath quests, I don't think I really need to speculate on this. I mean, remember the Naga prophecy, the Dark Heart awaits the taking. If all of this is true, it means she has 3 of the 4 known old gods. Now, we learned in the War Within that she's dealing with old god blood through the Nerubians in Kazakar, which are mysteriously just off the shore of Manti territory in Pandaria, the exact same Manti that a book released 2 months ago told us that just returned to worshipping Yasharaj, the book that gave us present-day updates to Pandaria. Now, when I made this theory, I said she has everything apart from THUN, but like, what is going on with THUN? Like, it just kind of doesn't fit in. Well, we recently had new info on the Sword of Sargeras that told us more about Xal'atath, and we know the Void Whispers that the Twilight Cultist guy had apparently stopped in Legion when Sargeras stabbed Xal'atath. Now, check this out. Traveling back in time in Season of Discovery, where Ahn'Qiraj just opened, giving us a weapon, a Void-empowered weapon to stab THUN with a shot. that is like a container. Does this have the exact same vibes like how she would have captured the Zod back in BFA? Has she literally traveled back in time to give us a weapon like very subtly that we're going to use to stab THUN with so that she can get his essence, and eventually it is going to end up in her hands in the next expansion, The War Within? I know what you may be thinking. I mean, didn't Chris Madsen say this isn't an alternate universe? However, keep in mind, this perfectly fits exactly what he said. This is literally just a little bit of contest. I mean, this might have actually happened in our timeline, we just haven't paid attention. She's not coming in to stop his defeat, to be like this new villain, to change the timeline, to alter anything or do anything. She just kinda slipped in a little weapon with a crystal container shard that we are going to use. We are going to do the exact same thing as before, just this time she's going to take a little sample of a old god. Keep in mind, the Twilight Hermit said Void Whispers stop when Sargeras stabs Xal'atath, so obviously she has to get the essence before that. All of this sample thing seems like it has to be done when the old gods are actually active, not when they are dead, and you can see the exact same pattern with the previous 3 old gods. Now, of course, this is saying that the old god sample theory is true. However, when you think about it, I mean, it does make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it could turn out to just be a minor cross-promotion thing, because as we know, I mean, Blizzard does cross-promotions all the time, like we had the Rumble and the Hearthstone thing in WoW since forever to get players to start playing their new projects, so why not promote Classic and retail, especially with this new strategy? However, this is quite a bit different. I mean, this is the exact same game, it is the exact same lore, just a few years back in time. I think seeing that this is Xal'atath and she has traveled in time once already to get the essence of Yogg-Saron, I think there is a big story element here, and it is more than just a single name mention, especially seeing that Xal'atath is like the major character in the World Soul Saga. This might be yet another part of the prophecy that is going to manifest itself all throughout the next expansion. Thank you for watching. Check out how Evaloran is still happening by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek artists in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time!